Hi, welcome everybody to the first episode of Tanssi Explained. Welcome. This is the first episode of, we hope, of many that's going to dive deep into Tanssi. And today in the first episode, you're going to hear from Augusto Collado about how you can basically launch your blockchain in minutes with Tanssi. Feel free to drop your questions in the comments on YouTube, and we're going to bring them up at the end of the session. And yeah, that's it. Augusto, the stage is yours, and have fun.
Hi everyone, thanks Sophie for the introduction. My name is Augusto. I am a developer relations engineer here at Tanssi, and glad to be here in this very first episode of Tanssi Explained. This is Tanssi 101, so we'll be covering what Tanssi is and how to launch your decentralized network blockchain in just minutes. So it's a very exciting topic, and let's do it. So what we've been seeing in the last years lately is that developers want to have their own networks, but allow me to go back and do some archaeology of this technology to understand how we got here in the first place. So going back to 2009, Bitcoin was the very first blockchain ever launched, and it was a huge success of decentralization. And that's great, but it was a very specific blockchain designed to be a cryptocurrency. Then a couple of years later, in 2015, Ethereum went live, and that changed many things, because now we had access to a Turing complete programming language, allowing us to solve practically any computational problem and to deploy the code on chain. And that unlocked many different use cases that they just didn't exist before. Like we had NFTs, we had RWAs, decentralized finance. And yeah, that changed many things, and the adoption grew like exponentially, bringing along with many scalability issues. So in 2020, around 2020, some other protocols such as Polkadot, Cosmos, and even L2 rollups, optimistic rollups or zero knowledge proof rollups, started exploring a new way of launching chains, like having your own blockchain being built and designed to meet the requirements of a specific use case, and having them with the ability of interoperate. So that's what we've been seeing lately. So developers want to have their own networks. They are massively adopting this kind of infrastructure and this kind of architecture for blockchains. So that's what we are seeing. And why is this happening? So there are many good reasons, but probably the most important one is when you are in a shared execution environment, you need to compete pretty much with everyone else to get your transactions included in blocks and executed. And so basically, you have no control over the costs, and there's nothing you can do if there is this new neighbor that like spikes the workload to the roof, increasing the gas fees. So there are just things that are way beyond your control. So having cost control and benefiting from the whole block space production is a great reason to have your own decentralized network. Other great reasons are to be able to customize your blockchain, to adapt your chain to your use case and not the other way around. So if you have the need to build a very innovative use case, well, you can, having your own chain, introduce modifications and customize the straight transition function, so the runtime of your chain, as much as you need to. And that's something that you just cannot do in a shared execution environment, and it's very hard to do in the L2 world as well. another big reason is of an economic nature. So being able to launch your own token and using the token to pay the gas fees or participate in governance or provide staking security. So it drives more utility to your token and ultimately drives more value to your token. So many teams are choosing this kind of networks as the first option. But even if they are great, this decision, this path comes along with many challenges that your team as developers need to take on. So the very first one is you will need to deal with the infrastructure like complexities. You will need block production in order to get your chain live. And that's just the very first step, because once you have block production, you can have your transactions executed, included in blocks. And that's great because now your chain is live, but you will also need to put in place many other components in order to have a fully functional network. You will also need RPC endpoints, data access layers. You will need integrations with wallets, indexers, block explorers. You will need also to worry about how to interoperate with other chains to be able to bring liquidity to your chain or take liquidity back to some other chains. And there's a huge issue also, which is security. So you should be able to provide security for your operations. And that's not an easy thing to solve. Those are not easy things to solve. So especially for protocols in the early stages, like providing economic security is very hard. So having identified this demand from developers to have their own chains and knowing how to deal with those complexities, well, the Tanssi protocol is being built to make it easy for you. So the solution proposed is allowing you to deploy your chain, your decentralized network, in just minutes instead of months. And that's a very bold statement, like deploy a whole blockchain, a fully functional network in minutes. Well, that's, I think, it's great. And then the other things that you get is you get security, because now you can choose between two options. You can launch an Ethereum active validated service, an AVS, a decentralized network, leveraging the Ethereum security through Symbiotic, or you can choose the Polkadot security, which is a decentralized network with billions of dollars at stake. And then you get also to customize your chain as much as you need to. You can leverage the power of Substrate, which is a very powerful blockchain SDK, probably the most advanced development kit out there. And you can just customize as much as you need to your chain. It's a modular architecture, so you can add models or configure the existing ones. Other things you get is the whole set of infrastructure as a service. So you will get block production, RPC endpoints, data accessibility, and many integrations from the get-go. So when your chain goes live in just a matter of minutes, you will get all those services already solved for you. And you will also get cross-chain interoperability, which is extremely important. So, okay, let's show you how to do it. So now I'm gonna go and register a chain live. You can go to the centralized application, the Tanssi decentralized application, which is located in apps.tanssi.network, and just follow steps. It's just a simple process, and I will show you how to do it. So this is Tanzbox, which is the Tanssi testnet. This is currently working with Polkadot ecosystem. So in the near future, you will also have the option to deploy an AVS in Ethereum. But now let's go with the Snap appchain, which is a blockchain that spins up in a matter of minutes and then lives for 48 hours. So it will allow you to test things out, to try it, And then after 48 hours, it gracefully dies. It gets decommissioned. So you can just come here and test it on your own. And there's just a couple of steps, being the first one, the most difficult and the most important one. It's not hard at all. So here you get to choose an EVM template, which is available, that will give you a blockchain that is fully Ethereum compatible. So once the chain go live, you will have full EVM compatibility, and you will be able to interact with your chain using all the tooling that you are already familiar with, like MetaMask, Remix, Hardhat, any Ethereum tool that you already know. Or you can choose Substrate, or even more advanced, the custom template, where you can just provide your chain's logic, and your chain will go live with the customization you need. So let's go with the EVM template. What you need here is to provide a name. I'm going to use Tanssi 101. You need to provide a chain ID. I'm going to use 101, but this is an ID that identifies your EVM network. So it's a testnet, then it's not that important, but if you go mainnet, you need to register this number. And then you get to decide the token symbol your chain is going to use. So this is the token that will be used to pay fees on your chain. I'm going to use just CNS. And then I need to provide an account that will have access to privileged operations. I need to provide an account, so I'm going to go to MetaMask and copy my address and set an initial balance of 1 million. So this account, I told you, has access to privileged functions. So what it can do, for instance, is to mint tokens or to upgrade the chain's logic. So it's a very important one. And that's it. That's all we need to move on. Then I can just continue. I need to connect a wallet. I mentioned that it is working with the Polkadot ecosystem, so I need to provide a substrate type address, which I already have, using Talisman, a popular wallet. And now you need some tokens. I do have tokens, but once you get here, you will not have. But do not worry, because there's a faucet in place, so you can claim tokens and then continue the process. I'm going to just move on. And then it just clicks, okay? So I told you this was going to be easy. I need to reserve an appchain ID, and I need to sign the transaction, which is basically saying that I have the intention of launching a new chain in this ecosystem. So it makes sense for the Polkadot world. In Ethereum, this step will be hidden, making the process even easier, because it's just a Polkadot thing that you need to register and get an appchain ID. Next, we need to generate our data. This is the Genesis data, so the information that will be included in the first block. And it is based on the information we filled in the form in the first step. So we can now continue. And then we are just 2 clicks away of finishing the process. I need to actually register the chain in the relay chain, the Polkadot's relay chain. And finally, I need to register the chain in the Tanssi protocol itself. So after those 2 registrations are finished, are done, our chain will go live. So the Tanssi protocol, I'm going to sign the transaction. So the Tanssi protocol will know that it needs to start providing infrastructure services to this new chain that have just came, and it will just pick from a decentralized set of block producers, just some of them, and will assign them to your chain. So they will start producing blocks on your behalf, and your chain will go live. And that's it. I mean, once this is done, the chain will spin up in a matter of minutes. So as we can see here, the app chain was successfully registered, now initiating the process of spinning up the chain. So that was it. That was the registration part of the process, which we already covered in a few minutes. So yeah, I told you, you can deploy your chain in minutes, which is so far true. You can choose between which security you want to leverage, either Polkadot or symbiotic ABSs in Ethereum world. You can get to customize your chain. I mean, you can upgrade your runtime to include the logic you need. And the nice thing about upgrading the runtime is that this is forkless. So you can do a runtime upgrade forklessly, which is pretty amazing. You will get all the infrastructure as a service. So the chain will spin up and start producing block and getting live with all the required necessary tooling to make it a fully decentralized network, a fully functional decentralized network. And you will get cross-chain interoperability from the get-go. So this is pretty amazing. Now, I want to show you how the Tanssi ecosystem looks like nowadays. We've just finished with an incentivized campaign in which we launched more than 2,300 networks on our testnet. It's a huge number, and many users have been interacting with our chains and executing millions of transactions. So this is pretty amazing. As you can see in yellow on the left side, there are many well-known providers in the Web3 space. So those are teams that we've been working with closely to get them integrated into our protocol. So you will benefit from those integrations. When you register your chain, you will get block explorers, indexers, oracles, RPC endpoint, wallets. And on the right side in green, you will see there are many teams committed to deploy their chains on Tanssi. So we have over 100 teams that are committed to deploy with us. And the nice thing about this is that those teams come from a very wide range of industries. We have teams coming from the DeFi world, NFTs, gaming, RWAs. So the interest in decentralized networks comes from a very wide range of different use cases. Now, just to mention one of the use cases, we have the Remark platform, which is an NFT protocol, and they are building their protocol. What they need is to be able to fully customize their chain. Like they need complete freedom to innovate, to build. They are building like in the edge of technology. They are innovating, so they need full liberty. And they get it by using Substrate, which is a very powerful SDK. And the nice thing about this is that they can implement this complex and innovative logic in their chain without having to worry about infrastructure integration and everything else, security and everything else. So the team can focus on what's really important, which is innovation and growth, instead of worrying about infrastructure and things like that. They can just delegate those complexities into the Tanssi protocol. So that's it. I want to show you how a live chain looks like. Let me go back to the Tanssi application. I'm going to show you, because we've been building this decentralized application to make it easy for you, not just the registration and the launching of your chain, but also the management. So here we can see a chain that is already live. As you can see here, we get information like when was the last block produced, which was the block number. We have here the RPC endpoint, so I can just take this RPC endpoint and start interacting with my chain, deploying smart contracts, calling smart contracts, and I can add this chain to MetaMask with just one click. And since this chain was launched using our EVM template, so this is a fully Ethereum compatible decentralized network, and there's been a new release of the runtime, I can also upgrade the chain with just one click here. Of course, I need the sudo keys to execute those privileged transactions. If you go here to the Manage panel, you can manage your token. For instance, I told you before, you can mint tokens. You can configure the gas dynamics, so you can decide how much to charge for fees when your user will be executing transactions on your chain. And you get here also many integrations. You have here access to explorers. There's a basic EVM Explorer here, so you can go to and check out. You have here another explorer, or you can request a Block Scout instance here also with one click. Then there's also indexers. We have here Subscript and oracles. We have 3 protocols available to deploy on your chain. But all of this is being actively developed, so stay tuned because there will be many things coming soon. We have recently announced a partnership with ContainerNetwork, which will facilitate even more our interoperability capabilities for the ABSs. So this is a protocol in the works, so it will be like there will be many new things coming soon here in these sections. So this chain, as we can see here, is producing blocks every 6 seconds. So the thing is, what's happening like under the hood is that the Tanssi protocol is assigning this infrastructure to work on behalf of this chain. So they are producing blocks, and they will be rotated every once and then. So this is a fully decentralized protocol as well. So that's it basically. You can come to this website, apps.tanssi.network, register your chain, get your chain live in just a matter of minutes, test things out, and yeah, you don't have to worry about anything related to the infrastructure or integrations. And that's it. So now I do invite you to join us in our Tanssi communities. We have Telegram groups. Follow us on Twitter. Do visit the documentation site, docs.tanssi.network. We've been working hard to make it easy for you as developers to build the best product ever. So you do go there, and if you need help, reach out. We are here to help. So focus on the product and build the best thing you can. And that's it. Thank you very much.